live now, and so if you are on the radio, you can listen on the radio. If you want to tune in on Facebook, we'll be going live on Facebook. And what do I have coming up? Oh, I know. What do I have coming up? That the show is ended. Let me get to my mug here this morning. Here we go. There I am. I'm all in living color here this morning. Well, you're looking a little bad, Ann. Well, maybe so. I went to that thing last night. Good morning, everybody. We are listening to WCRS Radio. You are watching WCRS Radio. You're watching me, Ann Eller. And I tell you what, I went to I had started to talk about this. I went last night to the Lander tree lighting. Oh, my God, I've never seen so many people. I don't think Penny has seen so many people. She always goes, "What? We're going on a new adventure. I'm excited." Then we get at this adventure, and she goes, "Oh, my God, we're really going to some place that I've never been before, and there's so many people." Yes. All right. Anyways, the place was packed. People were having a good time, and it was good to see everybody there enjoying it. Penny and I did leave before the tree lighting. I just wanted to see what was going on. The campus is beautifully decorated. They had everything going on. So, congratulations to Lander for another great tree lighting and an event for their students and faculty and I guess friends that knew about it. It's a school event, but I just walked over there just to see what was going on, and it was pretty darn cool. Saw some friends that I knew. All right, so met some people I hadn't met before, which was kind of cool too. So let's talk about some of the things of the day. I may repeat a little bit because I would just want to make sure we get it all on Facebook. So the good thing that I like about Facebook, do I like being on Facebook? Well, not really, but it is kind of cool. And the thing that makes it cool is the fact that we can post it the next day right here on the website, WCRS1450am.net. When we used to do just the podcasts of the show, it could be several days. Now, most of the time, it's going to be up that next day, which is kind of cool. So I did that yesterday. Before that, I had three very, 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 very well-spoken young people on the show yesterday afternoon. I had Ruby Self, Whit Smith. Yes, he is the son of Brandon Smith, Joseph Soderski, and I also had the mayor here with the Mayor's Council. And we talked about Greenwood. We talked about what their future aspirations are. It's always fun because we'll have that posted and we'll see how all that turns out. What the experience of being on the Mayor's Council has been. What things that they have thought would be good for Greenwood. But it was amazing to me because particularly I think Ruby was very outspoken about it. We don't want to be Greenville. We want to be Greenwood. I thought that was refreshing to hear because so many times we think that that the reason our young people leave is because, quote, there's nothing to do. That wasn't what they were saying. What they were saying is they want to go out and experience the world, and they would probably come back to Greenwood. But if their experiences led them to go somewhere else and then somewhere else, as jobs and everything life does, then of course they would take that road and go down that road. Joseph says he wants to become a surgeon, so he talked about taking his talents maybe overseas when he gets through school, but all of these things are a long ways away. What I think is fun about this is something that we can look back on. Well, I don't know if I'm here 10, 20 years from now. We can look back on this and go, well, how'd life turn out for you? And I also think it's neat that they really appreciate what's been happening in the Mayor's Council. all of them said they had no idea about being involved and what happens in city government. Joseph was probably the most, I'm going to say, eloquent at the end of the show when I was asking them about being on the mayor's council, and he talked about community involvement and that he thought being community involved was so important, and a couple of other things along that line that led you to believe that the mayor's council is having an impact on the students that are involved in it. I think they have about 32 students on the mayor's council, and they will be looking for new students to be part of the mayor's council, as the group that was here, and about over half, I believe, is going to be graduating, so they will not be part of the mayor's council, so there'll be a lot of openings. I highly recommend, if you've got a student in your family that is going to be a junior or a senior, it's really just for those two grades, junior and senior, that you encourage them to sign up to be part of the mayor's council. This Friday at their meeting, they're going to be going to the county courthouse, and they are going to hear from a bunch of judges that are local. Some of our local judges. The clerk of court will be there. They'll be learning all about what happens when one goes to court, and all of them have never been in the courthouse. So pretty cool stuff for a young person, and I really want to commend Mayor Brandon Smith for taking this project on. They meet at 6:30 in the morning because that way they don't have any conflicts. That was his purpose for doing it, and from that standpoint, that's a good thing. But you won't see me there at 6:30 in the morning. That is for sure. But the bottom line is, Brandon has taken on a project. I think it's been, as he said, it's a lot more work than they thought at first, but they definitely see the results of this. And so after, I think this is the 4th year, I believe, he said they think they have now gotten it down to a pattern of how to roll it out, and how to proceed through it. One of the things that is interesting, they run it just like they run a city council meeting. They have to pledge of allegiance, say a prayer, go through the whole procedure. They have an agenda that they go through. Ruby Self, who was here, is actually the chairwoman. And so it's great. It's great. And I just want to commend all that are working on this, that have lended their time to help with this project, to say thank you. It's a really good thing. All right. So now let's launch into some other things. Last night, after I'd been over there to Lander, I had to come back and, I had to take a nap. That's the truth. I had to feed Penny, I had to feed myself, and then I needed a little nap. So what did I do? I laid down and took a little nap. That little nap lasted a lot longer than I thought it would. So it was very late last night when I was watching the county council meeting. And I have a lot of problems. I don't know whether you would have a lot of problems with it or not. But if zoning had been the issue that they were working with, and over the last several meetings at county council, people had come out and spoken either for or against that 2,500 acres that will eventually be about 1,000 plus acres for a solar project. Just to find out, they were on second reading. I think the thing that was shown through the meetings, and I think I would be correct in saying this, had shown that the vote from county council members was not going to probably see it pass. That, I think, is the first element that we have to look at. It was not looking positive. At the very least, it would have been tied, and because it would have been tied, it would have failed. But also, they kept tabling the questions that everybody had about the issue. And they'd table it, and then they were going to come back to it. And by the time they came back to it, guess what? They'd found a workaround. They had decided that since a solar farm, I am paraphrasing, don't shoot the messenger here today. I am paraphrasing, but that they had found that since they had the zoning that they had allowed for some utilities, that they didn't need a new zoning request or zoning variance for this project. In my opinion, and this is all speculation because you cannot go back and say, well, what if it was going to pass? Would you have gone ahead and found a zoning thing? Probably. But because there was such opposition to it, and because it is, I'm sorry, but it's Duke Energy with some very high-paid attorneys, I think there was some, well, we don't really need it, because that's what they came up with in the end. But if they didn't need it, why did they go down this path before? Because they thought they needed it. And now, because they didn't see it was going to pass with open arms, they decided we don't really need it. So I'm not really sure, but I don't like it. What it looks like is that it is not transparent. That's the problem. And in a day and time in our society where transparency is a key word, we are not seeing the transparency that they should have. County Council had a very short meeting, probably the only one in a very, 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 very long time that I can remember them not having an executive session, which also leads to some speculation from an inquiring mind, because they always have an executive session. But they didn't have an executive session last night. Also, no, well, that's enough. Those are my questions to County Council. And I'm sure they will have some very glib answer. They didn't have anything to talk about. They just had a few zoning items. I think there are some people on council, though, that might have wanted to have chatted a bit about this decision in executive council or in public, but nothing happened either way. There was no opportunity. And the best way to avoid things is not to talk about it at all and not to give anybody the opportunity to talk about it. There were no public comments last night. Of course, they came out with that letter at the last minute after the period had been closed down for being able to sign up for public comment. If you see a problem, love to hear from you. 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. I would love to hear from you on that. That was a big thing on county council. I think they did some other little zoning things. There was a question about one. They wanted to change it, and they didn't have the facts and figures up there. And we heard things like, well, I'm sure we will see, and this type of thing. I don't believe it was a big change, but it is a change when people start sliding things through. Aren't they supposed to be the ones that view it last and approve or not approve? But anyways, that's a story for another story. I don't want to dilute the waters, but I do want to say, this thing with Duke Energy, the 2,500 acres of which they will use 1,000 acres, is a problem to me on how it was done. It may be totally appropriate. But then again, maybe it's not totally appropriate. And that is why I wanted to hear the discussion about that. And I am sad that I am very sad that County Council decided to use that as a way to get around this. That is what I am sad about. All right. So let's talk about some other things here. Since we're talking about council, I do want to talk about at the end, they were doing reports, their county by county reports, and the attorney, our attorney, decided to yield her time to somebody else. And I want to play this for you. This is about the polar plunge. I hope everybody will get involved and either support somebody, start your own group or whatever, because this is such a worthwhile project for our Special Olympics. Let's see if I have it queued up to the right point. I believe I do. And we will just listen to it here this morning.
Help to be able to drive my aunt to Atlanta, and that I have the ability to financially take my aunt to Atlanta. So we're all so blessed with so many of the things that I think some of you have anything for good of the order.
No report.
Mr. Manager, Madam Attorney.
I would like to yield my time to Investigator Matthew Womack. He wants to address you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Biddy. Good afternoon.
Is she legally representing you, or you?
I'm county employee, so yeah.
Good afternoon.
That's good.
I'm sure y'all see my emails. A month from tomorrow will be our third annual polar plunge that the Special Olympics of Sacramento puts on. The Sheriff's Office has been a member for several years. Last year we raised almost $28,000. And one big misconception about it is it doesn't go to Special Olympics International, it goes to our athletes. We have 30,707 athletes in our state. We're the 6th largest. And they're hurting a little bit financially. So I'm really pushing big time to raise as much as I can. This is going to be the last hoorah for 2025 for them. So. And Captain Smith, y'all be sure to encourage him. He signed up. I'm sure you saw him in your emails. He's outside of the security realm. But, you know, the lake is for the chairman, the vice chairman. You know, y'all do have the lake, you know. So if you decided that you wanted to plunge, it's also this is great for department heads and county managers if they would like to sign up to plunge. Just throwing that out there. So, thank you.
Plunge without raising money?
I prefer that you raise them.
Now, hold on. So how do you raise money? I mean, is there a registration for taking the plunge?
Yep, so what you do is you'll scan the code, or I can send you the email link, and you'll sign up. And then you have to raise at least $50 a plunge. It comes with a t-shirt and Chick-fil-A cards and stuff like that. And then you have to join it.
And we are making a team for Greenwood County. They'll get an email tomorrow, like a county team.
So like the Sheriff's Office has its own team, all the schools get involved, Solicitor's Office, Public Defender's Office, they have fun going at each other about, which is fine for me. Schools usually have some good competition. We have a costume contest. But again, like I said, 100% of these proceeds go to these athletes. And you know, if you look at population-wise and where we are as a state versus we're the 6th largest in the nation as far as having athletes. And we have over 2,000 athletes in our Lakelands area. And they're going to Minneapolis next year for the summer games. So that money, it goes to them directly. And like I said, you talk about being thankful and all that, it's for a good cause.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, thank you. I'll tell you, as a parent of a special needs child, I really appreciate it. And I think you could, as a secondary fundraiser, I would buy a ticket and watch Eddie jump in the lake.
Well,
So,
he has set his goal at $5,000.
really?
He has set it, and he made like $400 in a few hours. He did pretty good. So, but he needs some encouragement. And so when you see Captain Smith, be sure that you encourage him to raise those funds. So, and I'm sure y'all all don't worry, it will be on film if you can't make it. Thank you very much. So,
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was Investigator Matthew Romack, I think it is, and talking about the polar plunge, and I think that is so terrific. We've got over 2,000 local athletes, and I think he said 30,000 in the state of South Carolina. It's second largest state in the union for Special Olympics participants. So the polar plunge is coming up on the 19th. I'm going to get some more information and share some more information, and I hope we're going to get somebody on to talk about this, because I think that this is a terrific community-wide project that we should have people coming in for. So if you'd like to be participating in it, sign up. Anyways, I'm Ann Eller right here with you this morning. I did want to talk briefly about the hearing that went on yesterday down in Columbia on the very, 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 very restrictive bill, which is in the medical affairs. I believe it's in their subcommittee. They were talking about it. We already have, I'm just going to say this, we already have a very restrictive with the 6 weeks. I think I'm doing this from memory now. Representative John McCravey had gone in and done an updated version that gave all kinds of we had him on the show. In fact, you can go back and watch that one on WCRS 1450am.net. I think it was in September, that we had him on. And I will say that he covered that subject very, very well. While there had been a lot of confusion about his bill versus the bill that the Senate has out there. That bill by the Senate had been sponsored by William Cash, anyway, from Anderson, Senator Cash from Anderson. It was one, actually, that Senator Garrett and a couple of others had signed on to, too. The differences between the bills, and this is very, very, very general, is that the bill that is in front of the Senate would actually, they were saying no abortions at all. They were even against any intrauterine device that would prevent pregnancy. Anything that stopped the fertilization of the egg was a no. Anything that could cause an abortion, that the female that was having the abortion, whether it was pills, whether it was, I guess, actually a procedure, any of these things that could stop the life of the baby could be imprisoned by up to 30 years. 30 years. And as I was watching parts of it, I haven't watched the whole thing, but you can certainly watch it on the Senate page, for South Carolina Senate page, and you can look for hearings and meetings, and they have them all videoed down there. But as I was watching it, Some of it I could not even understand because people would support the bill, but they wouldn't support this part of it. As I was watching the rest of it, it was changing from that 30 years potential for a woman to have to endure for having an abortion to a bill that was, if she cooperated, she could end up with not having any of these charges, although Senator Billy Garrett's amendment, I don't know if that's the right word, but his change to the bill would be that a possible, if she did not cooperate, what was it, 2 years in prison and or $1,000 fine. Which is, Billy noted, what somebody that had an abortion back before Roe versus Wade, before that in the 70s. This is a very, very difficult, very, very difficult. And as John McCravey said when he was on here and we were discussing that, because I think they were having the first hearing of this Senate committee down there, he said that he thought in the end the bill would come back some to what the bill from the House that has actually passed the House. I do want to give Senator Billy Garrett credit for saying that they needed an omnibus bill that he wanted to introduce to help women with all aspects of their pregnancy. But still, one senator, and I do not know which one it was, said that this should have been a referendum for the state, However, that was, of course, not put forth. So there is a long way to go on what is happening with the abortion bill in the Senate. But they are meeting during the off season, shall we say, to have hearings on this and go through this. So I just thought I would mention it. If you feel that you want to call your senator, because this is the person that is on this committee, I don't know where it ended up because I was tired. I went to bed. But Senator Billy Garrett says that his constituents want a very restrictive bill on this. Although Billy was not for the 30 years, he definitely felt that at least a 2-year prison sentence and or 1,000 was his amendment that he was putting forth. As I said, I don't know where they ended up on that. But this is a hearing that is ongoing. If you are concerned about where we are headed with the abortion issue, I would urge you to reach out to Senator Billy Garrett and let him know how you feel about it. As I said, John McCravey's version of the more restrictive. Right now we have the heartbeat bill. You can have an abortion up to the point where a heartbeat is heard. In the Senate version, and then John McCravey's went for no abortions, but left the door open for many conditions that he says that they talk to OBGYN doctors about any and all possibilities, and those exceptions were put in the House version. Now, in the Senate version, there was some question about what things would be legal or not legal for a woman to take. I think the Senate version, in my opinion, everything I have heard about it is over the top. And I think we should be given the opportunity to make adult decisions and not be put under a legal gun. One point that I did find was very interesting, that because of since the 1970s that people had been conditioned to understand that an abortion was acceptable, it will take quite a bit of time to convert people back to feeling that an abortion is not acceptable. I think most people do not look at abortion as a quick fix for something. I know there are those that say that abortion is some people's birth control. I think if you look, there probably is a portion of our society that may look at an abortion as birth control, but I don't think the majority of our people look at abortion as a birth control. I think that is terribly, terribly harsh to say. However, the heartbeat bill was accepted. I'm not sure about John McCravy's version that's in the House. We don't have their newly updated one in the Senate. As I said, they had a hearing yesterday, and of course, this was in a subcommittee. And once it goes from the subcommittee, I don't know whether it has to go to the regular committee and then go to the Senate floor, but it is a long process. But if you want input on this, Senator Billy Garrett is on the Medical Affairs Committee or subcommittee, and he would, I'm sure, love to hear from you as to how you feel about this. Just wanted to mention it. It's an important hearing. It's important for at least 50% of the people in our society. And I think jail for someone that has an abortion is a little extreme when we have so many other things where jail never comes up. It is amazing to me that we have revolving doors on some of the crimes out there, but we want to take something as abortion and make it higher and more punishable than some of the other crimes that are out there. Although Senator Richard Cash had taken the position that isn't that murder. And I guess in some aspects, yes, it is. So, 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. Do you have an opinion about what is happening in the House? Do you think they should be spending all this time? Do you think we should be spending all this time on this topic? Do you think that we could just settle and have a law, whether it was the heartbeat bill or whether, as John McCravy said, this just protects more lives? Are we going far enough? That is the question. I am Ann Eller right here with you this morning. I wanted to bring that up because it was on my heart about how much time and money we have spent on this topic. And unfortunately, between the House and the Senate, they can't seem to get together. They have to do their own thing. So that's a little topic on that. The Epstein bill finally clears the House and the Senate. I know it has gone on to the to President Trump to sign, so we know that that's going to be coming up. If it hasn't already, it will be signed and put into office. So it put into reality. We'll see how much more there is to be put forth. All right, there's a lot of good events out there that are coming up. One of the big ones is this Sunday. There's Sunday. It is Tutus and Teas with the International Ballet. Sunday, November 23rd from 2 to 4 at the Arts Center of Greenwood. Greenwood Performing Arts is putting that on. I hope, if you have never been, I hope you will sign up and get that. You can go to greenwoodperformingarts.com.org, Greenwood Performing Arts. Go to their website and you can get your tickets right there. They also will do tickets for tables of 4 or 8. It is a fabulous afternoon of the Nutcracker Suite, seeing it come to life, seeing a portion of a real ballet for real ballet dancers at the International Ballet out of Greenville coming here. So thank you for checking that out. You'll be glad you did. If you've gone year after year, you know what a great event it is. It is a great mother-daughter event. It's a great grandma, mother, and daughter event. I mean, it just has so many applications of a fun tradition. This is either the third or fourth year. I do not remember, but that is going to be pretty cool. Also, Wednesday and Thursday only, the 8th grade students in the Axe Magnet program at Brewer Middle School are taking the stage at the Greenwood 50 Performing Arts Center for two public performances of Disney's The Little Mermaid Jr. Shows are at 6 p.m. Tickets are $10 online and increase to $15 at the door the night of the performance. So I think you can go to District 50 and find it from there. And there's also links all over Facebook on that. So check that out. They are having down there in the Newberry Opera House the 360 All-Stars. And they are going to get ready for a mix of bicycle, motocross, basketball, and breakdancing and more. That is there also. That's on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Thursday has a Branson Country Christmas concert, and Friday they have a stellar piano duo. Get information and tickets for these events at NewberryOperaHouse.com. All right, check that out. Saturday, this sounds like a cool event. Saturday, Abbeville Opera House welcomes Ernie Haas and Signature Sound as they perform A Jazzy Little Christmas. I love that. Haas is an acclaimed tenor with Southern gospel roots and a love for performing. Doors open at 6:30. The show starts at 7:30. The group's previous performance was postponed from 2024. If you already had tickets for this last year, your tickets are still good. However, if you want a refund, you can get that too. I would check with the Abbeville Opera House on that. And of course, coming up this weekend, all kinds of music. Now, coming up on Thursday, they are having the tree lighting over there in Abbeville. So that I just wanted to alert you to that. I tell you what, it's not even Thanksgiving. It's not, how did we ever do all the events that we do between Thanksgiving and Christmas? I have no idea. But it's not even Thanksgiving, and we're making sure that we are out there going to all these events. We're doing Christmas tree lightings. We're doing, oh my gosh, what are we doing? Craft shows. All these things are just flying by us. From that standpoint, I think it is such a shame that we are where we are on that. So I think it is, we just rush through everything. We haven't even had Thanksgiving, and here we are already doing Christmas tree lightings. And there is at least one of those a week. Also, I do want to tell you, with any donation of paper towels out there at the Humane Society, yesterday and today, or through 11/29, so through almost the rest of the month, any donation of paper towels, you can get yourself a best friend. Adult dogs and cats are $25, $50 for puppies and kittens. And of course, those will come spayed, neutered, all the things that make it so expensive to own a pet. They are already taken care of at the Humane Society. So that is another good thing. So that's some of the things that I know about. I did want to mention this before we go. I think this is going on today. Yes, tomorrow morning we're once again going back to the South Carolina Parole Board. This is from John McCravey, to ask them to grant parole to Tiffany Carroll. She was repeatedly abused, but finally fought back and ended up in jail. She did end up killing her accuser, but she finally fought back and ended up in jail 5 years ago. Her children need her. Her community wants her back. The sentencing judge made her eligible for early parole, and the police and solicitor join in that request. We are very hopeful the parole board will see it fit to finally let her return home. Then he goes on, this is a message from John McCravey on Facebook. Thanks to Representative Travis Moore of Spartanburg, who is representing her, and especially Mary Ann Wingert, retired Greenwood school teacher, who brought this heartbreaking situation to my attention a couple of years ago. This has been a long road. She has been in front of the parole board, I think twice, but I could be wrong on that. But she is up for parole this time, and hopefully they will grant her parole. What a great Thanksgiving that would be for her and her family. So, also, just a couple other things that are going on. All at Fishbones General Store and Tackle out there at the lake, right near Break on the Lake. They're having a chili cook-off on Sunday, November 23rd, from 2 to 5 p.m. Make the best chili to win prizes, and maximum of 8 contestants and teams. Advanced registration required at Fishbones. And here is a neat gift that they will be giving. All proceeds go to Wingert's Pharmacy to help with co-pays. What a great thing. So if you would like to stir up a pot of chili and see if you've got the best, they would love to have you out there this coming Saturday, 2 to 5 p.m. We talked a little bit about the polar plunge. We're going to find out more information about that, but that is coming up on December 19th. And I do want to remind you that we are getting ready. The boxes go out the end of this week for our Be the Heart of the Holidays. We are helping not only School District 50 with the 4 to 11-year-olds that are in a tough spot. Most of them do not have a secure home, so it becomes difficult for them to get help from some of the other agencies in our area. And so we kind of step in with toys that y'all help provide. We help provide. We have lots of sponsors that help out on this. Let's make 2025 the biggest toy drive ever, because we also have added in District 50 school children over there in Ware Shoals. District 51 over there in Ware Shoals. So we really could use your help. If you're out buying toys, if you could buy a few extra toys, toy boxes will be going out at Chick-fil-A, Fat Daddy's, Dairy Queen, and more. Some of these are going to have special promotions to help you do the right thing. Buy toys. So, Chick-fil-A always has a good one. I know Dairy Queen is working on their promotion. Fat Daddy's is another one. I don't know. They may have something, but we're just getting the final details. I just wanted you to be aware. This is coming up, and the boxes will be out by the end of the week. You can also, if you buy some and you want to go ahead and drop them off here at WCRS, I do already have our box out here. Any and all donations, whether you would like to give a cash donation, cash or check, and allow us to do the shopping for you, that is great too. We'll make it easy on you. Just bring that donation to here or call me, 864-332-9355. Let me know that's what you'd like to do, and we'll work that out. Everything, every little bit helps to make this Christmas brighter for those in our community who are often overlooked. One of the reasons I like dealing with the school districts on that is the counselors there already know who needs something. That is the big thing. They're identified by the counselors. The counselors pack the bags and make sure that they get there. So this is for School District 50, which is Greenwood, and School District 51, which is Ware Shoals. And we are blessed to have all of you who listen out there to help us out with this. Please buy some toys ages 4 to 11. We really need some toys for the older ones, or toys, projects. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can get out there that would satisfy. Soccer balls, footballs, all those type of things are great, and get our kids to know that they're loved. And that is what is important. And that's why I am so passionate about doing this for District 50 and District 51. So 864-332-9355. If you need more information, pick up that phone, call me. You can also text me. You can leave a message. We'll work any ways to try to make this come together. We've got a short window. We will need to have all of this done by December 10th. And as always, the Burton Boombox Parade will be going on this year on December 9th. If you would like to participate in this parade, please give me a call and we will see about hooking you up. It's the best parade in Greenwood, Saluda, Abbeville. It's a parade that has heart, and that's what I love about it. We will be the music for the parade, where our Burton Boombox Band will be carrying their boomboxes, and music will be blaring from 98.5 across all of the automobiles, all the boomboxes we can carry and put out there. So please tell me that you would like to participate if you're a group or a individual, or maybe you have an old car, maybe you have an old tractor, maybe you have. We would love to have you be part of our parade. Well, where do you march, Ann? We march around the parking lot. It's just perfect. It is just perfect. So I hope that you will contact me. You can also contact them out at the Burton Center, but I can get your information and then pass it on and make this Burton Center parade the biggest and bestest parade in Greenwood. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's going to do it for me. Got a question or a comment about anything that I've talked about here this morning? I would, of course, love to hear from you. This is a great day out there already. We are at 66, headed for a high today of 88. We will have no guests this afternoon. I've got a lot on my plate. I don't know how I do this every year, but I put a lot on my plate. And somehow, with all your help out there in our community, we get it done for about 3 to 350 students in that 4 to 11 age group who are homeless, near homeless, and you're going to say, I don't believe it, but yes, we do have children who don't have a stable place to live. So it is my honor to help with these children every year. Help me out if you can. And drop off toys here. Chick-fil-A's box will be installed by the end of the week. The Dairy Queen, Fat Daddies, we should have most of the boxes out, and I'll be giving shout-outs and talking about it more. 864-332-9355 if you've got a news tip. If you've got a comment, please don't hesitate to let me know what you would like me to discuss and or like to let me know about. Have a great day. This is WCRS Radio. Take it away. Oh, yeah. And the curtain goes down. Yes. Bye-bye, everybody.